This little baggie is my daily companion, as it holds all my knitting notions, such as a pair of scissors and needle stoppers, a tape measure, a little container with darning needles, and stitch markers. The little bag, together with the needle stoppers, were gifted to me by a treasured fiber friend. However, as you might see, it's bulging with all my knitting notions. I think I need an upgrade. And for that upgrade, I am turning to the sponsor of today's video, Hooks and Needles, who have in the past sent me 3 boxes of both knitting and crochet related goodies, because if you don't know, Hooks and Needles is a monthly subscription box that delivers you all you need to start knitting or crocheting right at your door. In the previously sponsored video, I made a scarf and a purse from the first knitting and second crochet box. But they did send me a 3rd box, and I asked you all, what should we make from this 3rd subscription box from Hooks and Needles? And it might have been the way that I have versed my question, but we all agreed that a project bag was the right project. To freshen up your minds, let's roll the clip of the unboxing of this 3rd box. Same branding, of course, same booklet on top, covering the goodies. Another pair of circular needles. Oh, rainbow yarn. This is pretty. So, well, even more stitch markers, but it's not like we can ever have enough, right? This one says, I love knitting. Isn't that just the truth? I might have misplaced my booklet. Didn't keep everything neatly in the boxes, because, like, for example, in this box I kept all the leftover yarn from my previous projects. Which booklet is this? Found it. Here is the booklet that was with knitting box 3. So this is what we will be making, an everyday tote bag or a knitter's tote bag. Like, I might have insisted that this is a project bag, but calling it a knitter's tote bag, that's just steering me in the right direction. This is the fun yarn we will be using. A very spring appropriate combination, don't you think? The pastel colors with my little sheepy bowl. This is actually the very first pattern that I have encountered that specifically tells you to do my favorite cast on, which is the knitted cast on, where you just knit your stitches onto your needle. Approved, approved. Hooks and Needles is pretty upfront, pretty open about the fact that the colors on the pictures might not correspond to the colors of the yarn that you receive in your box, as is clearly the case here. Mine is much more pastel, as this is very bold. In Flemish, I would even say that this is very schreeuwerig. Well, that also tells you that I prefer this, of course. Now, just a little moment of appreciation how well this yarn works with my stitch marker. Ah, cute. I mostly think of myself as a little bit of an advanced knitter. However, sometimes picking the beginner pattern is just so wholesome. I don't know if that's the right word to describe the feeling, but it's very meditative to only think about knitting and purling, like 25 knit stitches, 25 purl stitches, 25 knit stitches. It's a perfect project to just shut up my brain. 25 knit stitches, 25 purl stitches. Secondly, what I wanted to tell you, I might have underestimated the size of this project. It's not really just an upgrade from my Knitting Notions companion, is it? It's going to be where my Knitting Notions companion is going to live. Like, this is an actual full-size project bag. Not just a bag for the notions, but for the entire project. Which is great, of course, and then I can still use my trusty, loved knitting companion. I just have to put other stuff somewhere else in the project bag. Tell me in the comments, how do you actually organize your knitting notions? Do you have project bags for all of your projects, or do you have like a neat little cabinet? I don't know. How do you organize all of your crafting stuff actually? As part of our continued collaboration, Hooks and Needles also sent me a couple of new boxes, and they have arrived today. So maybe let's take a look what's in these as well, and then when my project bag is finished, we together can decide which of these projects will live in that project bag for the duration of the project. How many times can I say project in one sentence? Another little unboxing, if you're up for that. This is the 4th box for the crochet subscription. Seems like they have updated their branding a little bit. Now you also have the projects on the magazine. The colors are speaking to me. If you don't know, in my previous video I talked about how I am very much drawn to the purple, orange and yellow combinations lately, so whatever I'm seeing on this booklet is already inspiring. What are we actually making? A wall hanging with a flower, a bandana and a baby blanket. Cool, cool, cool. Ooh, stickers. I like stickers. And I am a crazy craft lady. 4 skeins, 4 balls actually of yarn. Cushy Soft it is called. It is 50% cotton and 50% soybean fiber. That is very interesting. I don't know if you can see it, but it like has a little bit of a shimmery effect to it. Pretty neat. Feels very cool too. Okay, what else do we got? We got some, ooh, is this another? Oh, this is actually a tape measure, I think. Oh, that's cute. That's so much cuter than the tape measure I currently own. The tape measure I currently own was sent to me by a company where I bought cycling pants. So a dedicated yarn-themed tape measure actually is pretty cool. Care detail. Oh, those are cards. If you gift a project to someone, then you can put the care details, and it was made by to, you know, all the details of the gifter and the giftee. I don't give much gifts because I am very greedy when it comes to my fiber arts, but this is a cute idea actually. Ooh, look at it, it's a pin. A pin with a little catty in a yarn ball. Cute, cute. I'm going to swap this out in my knitting companion, and then I will already have a little bit more place because this is much smaller than the one I have. Wait, I'll show you, I'll compare it. My current tape measure and the one that Hooks and Needles sent me. You can live right there. And then the 4th box for the knitting subscription. The previous box was all for crochet. This is for the knitters. Ooh, more purple. What are we making? Please tell me. I am confusion. Where are the projects? Aha. Another baby blanket, a hat, and a braided basket. You know, one of my co-workers actually got a baby last week, so maybe I should make one of the baby blankets. What do you think? Which project should I make? I mean, this one has a pom-pom, so it is enticing me to make the hat. This is Harmony wool. It's 50% wool and 50% acrylic, which I think is a good blend for a baby blanket, because then you can throw it in the washing machine when your baby has done whatever unsavory business. Yeah, I think I might make the baby blanket. I'm thinking about it, because these colors are also like pretty gender neutral. That's hefty. A needle gauge, both with millimeters and US sizes. Yeah, neat little tool. Can you also live in there? Technically, yes. But this can't, this is too big. Yeah. Yeah, I will have to find another space in the project bag that I'm making, so let's return to the project bag. And speaking of meditative, I'm not always the greatest fan of metal needles, but the sound they make? Unmatched. Especially with the rain pouring down on the roof. Yes. The Hooks and Needles booklets always include photo instructions for your projects. There is also a link for video instructions if you need it. However, looking at these photo instructions made me question a couple of things, and mostly the way I tension my yarn, or the way yarn is tensioned across knitters. Like, look at this picture over here, and they have twisted their yarn thrice around their index finger. And that is not how I do it, even though I also hold my yarn in my left hand. For tensioning yarn, I have it over my index finger and then trapped in my other three fingers, especially my pinky finger that is putting in a lot of force, a lot of work here. That's the way how I tension my yarn. What about you? How do you tension your yarn while knitting? And just for shits and giggles as well, do you hold your yarn in your dominant hand or in your non-dominant hand? I have finished the instructions that Hooks and Needles give you to knit this tote bag. I mean, not really. There's one extra step, and they tell you to put yarn through all your stitches and pull it tight, and then you have a bag. Which is a great way of making a bag, but it's not a way that I want to make this bag, because this is going to be a project bag for me. I will have needles in there, and my gauge has loose morals, so those needles will just poke out everywhere. I want to omit the chances of happening that by adding in a lining. Now, if I just crunch up the bottom, that will make adding in a lining just a little bit more difficult. And while I am an advanced knitter, I'm not so much of an advanced sewist to figure out the math to make a nice curved bottom. So what I'm going to do is do a 3-needle bind off so that the underside of my baggie is perfectly straight. Please don't tell Hooks and Needles that I'm not following their instructions, because they're actually my favorite sponsor. Don't want to lose them. We have ourselves a nice, cozy, beautiful, soft little project bag that right now fits not only my project, as you saw, a pair of very funky socks, my knitting companion with everything that I have shown you in the beginning of this video, but also this needle gauge, which also doubles as a very handy ruler, you know, gauge swatches and stuff, and also the row counter that was in one of the new boxes. Yes, very useful, very beautiful. And the good news is you can have one of these too, because if you follow the link in the description, you will get directly to the page where you can get yourself a subscription on one on Hooks and Needles boxes, either the knitting, crochet or amigurumi box.
in these boxes, as I have shown you, is premium yarn, exclusive patterns, and all of the tools that you need to make them. Well, except if you want to make a lining, because that's sewing and not including in the boxes, of course. I have taken some creative liberties with the patterns and the project, and that is because I am already an advanced crafter, but these boxes are also really great if you have actually never used a knitting needle or a crochet hook in your life, because they also include step-by-step instructions, video tutorials, and you get access to a community of other creators and people that can help you if you're stuck. And in the end, if you're not satisfied with your subscription, Hooks and Needles promises hassle-free cancellation. I have really found a lot of joy and relaxation in knitting this really simple pattern, so thank you again, Hooks and Needles, for sponsoring this video. And now let's make use of this bag in all possible ways. A new era is born, one in which I have a very colorful stripy project bag. Anyway, if you like these kind of fine shenanigans, then maybe you could like, comment or subscribe, but of course that is all up to you. And as for me, I will see you in a next video, but before we do that, maybe here are some more knitting shenanigans. Bye!